Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine review, news, and interview channel. And today we're going to be flipping through Mad Magazine number 142 for no reason in particular. But first, I wanted to talk about how you can support this channel. The best way that you can support this channel is hitting like, subscribe, and sharing this video out to whomever or wherever you can. Another way would be to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/flippinthrough. And I'm getting really close to one of this sort of internal goals that I have for the Patreon account, and that is getting up to $20 a month, because $20 a month means that I will be able to upgrade my StreamYard account, which means a lot of things, really. It means that when I do the live stream interviews, like the one coming up with Kenny Keel on January 15th, please mark your calendar. Make sure you are there. I can have the interview without having this live with StreamYard, the StreamYard logo. I'll be able to do my own video clips, my own background, all of these really cool things, and not be tethered to what StreamYard limits me with the free account. Additionally, I will be able to live stream here on YouTube, but also on Facebook and any other platform, really. I can do up to 3 with the Cheapskate account. I don't know what they call it. It's definitely not the Cheapskate account. So, like I said, those are 2 ways that you can support me and this channel and help it grow and become even greater. Before I forget, a shout out to my current Patreon subscribers, Rod Mead Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Kyle Bridget. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. With that, great. You know, someday I'll get that taken care of, but I still haven't figured it out. I am pretty excited though, because I do have a new lens on this camera, and so nobody complained about it, but it bothered me quite a bit, the blurriness that especially towards the edges. Anyway, today we are flipping through MAD number 142. Came out April 1971. Our price, 35 cents, which is indeed cheap. I like to stay out of politics, but I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist this. All right, so you'll forgive me if this seems too political, but it is a lovely cover, a photograph. It's a photograph cover. I don't think this part is a photograph. Maybe they hung a sign on and then did some, I don't know, movie picture Photoshop magic. Obviously not Photoshop as we know it, but I like that. It's a photograph, and it got me to thinking: are there any other covers with photographs? The one that comes to mind immediately is the one with the monkeys painting on the cover, the finger painting. It was a photograph of his beautiful artwork, but I could not think of anything else off the top of my head. If you can think of one, leave it in a comment below. Here we have Mad's Modern, Believe It or Nuts, which I believe this appeared somewhat recently. During the worst heat wave of the summer, Myron Stanley Futzelman danced the boogaloo for 57 hours without stopping while wearing ice skates. Despite this unique effort, the Army still inducted him. Yeah, that draft is a real B. Contrary to popular belief, King Kong was not knocked off the Empire State Building by World War I airplanes, nor did he fall. He was actually lured off by a banana placed on top of the Chrysler Building. Delightful. Bob Clark's artwork is just lovely here, and the writing, stylings of one Arnie Kogan. I forgot. I always forget. I don't know. Did I forget this last time? I feel like I always forget. Let's see. Look at this. This has a new zoom. This new lens can zoom in a little bit more smoothly. Here we have the quote by one Alfred E. Newman. If you want to see 85, don't look for it on the speedometer. Yeah, man. That's true. That's so true. Can I zoom out? Perfect. I'm very good at that. The vital features. West Coast Story, a musical satire. This is not the first time they satirized West Side Story. They did that. Wait a second, did I do this one already? No, this is different. They did the West Side Story where they were making fun of the Russians, right? That's kind of funny. Who did the art on this? Jack Davis. Why not? Violent TV commercials. Oh, wait, no, maybe that's Jack Davis. What is Apparent? Sergio Aragones. You can tell this is his early work. Lighter Side of, naturally, Dave Berg. Mad's Dirty Old Man of the Year. This has to be an early Mort Drucker. My Three Sunny Boys, a television satire. Angelo Torres. I have no idea. That's a guess. These two, I think I'm going to be irritated when I find out that this is like Bob Clark or something. But yeah, I'm just not sure. The other ones I'm a little bit more certain. Here we have the last two issues. We had sort of gag letter departments. Not this time. So let's see. Oh, here we go. Grave Meaning. Let's see how this zoom in button works. All right, so Grave Meaning. Your back cover ad for Winsome was like a breath of fresh air. A brilliant takeoff on one of the most moronic ad campaigns I have ever seen. The good grammar or good taste idiocy. Another great anti-smoking triumph. Well, look at this. This is all back patting and glad handing. You know you're really a football fan when you put down your Mad magazine to watch the Boston-Buffalo game. You roll up a copy of Mad and pass it into the trash can. That's what I like. Steve Rollbuehler, you're my kind of guy. Here's the Mad Drug Primer. Let's read one of these. I just love the letter section. Your Mad, the Blow Your Mind Drug Primer, was an excellent and bitter satire on the drug problem in the world today. Your concluding conjecture as to what becomes of all the money that is voted for drug rehabilitation is a tragic thing which is often ignored by those who are capable of helping. What? This is all sincere. Get out of here. All right. Let's get some cynicism in here. So the West Coast Story. Yes. 1 for 1. Jack Davis, artist, writer, Frank Jacobs. Here you can see I have some water damage on this issue. And there's like a little silly putty effect. And some of the water transferred, or the ink transferred over to that side. Remember West Side Story and its tough-talking teenage gangs who started rumbles and danced and sang songs to Officer Krupke? Well, a lot has happened in the last few years, and the young extremists of today who occupy whole city blocks and take on hundreds of police sure make the gangs in West Side Story look like a bunch of little old ladies, which is our sneaky way of letting you know that MAD is about to present its new, updated version of that famous musical. Oh, yeah. Of course, Frank Jacobs wrote this. Look at that. Act 1, Scene 1. A meeting of the Rats, a group of militant extremist freaks. When you're a rat, you're a cat who is boss, from your first dirty word to the last egg you toss. When you're a rat, and some cause you have backed, You keep bugging the pigs till they overreact. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I got to zoom in on some of this, right? I mean, this is just almost too zoomed in, perhaps. Look at these expressions. When you're a rat, you're politically wise. Any man voted in is a man to despise. When you're a rat, you're where it's at. These are just beautiful. Look at this poor sap. I love this. The hole and the way he shaded it right there. Oh man, that just looks so cool. All right. Gee, Officer Krupke, we're down on our knees. No one likes a kid with a social disease. Isn't that how it goes? The police barricade at Disneyland. See, this is the problem with Jack Davis's art, is that I could just sort of gaze at it the entire time. Ooh, I feel pretty. We'll be singing, gaily singing. We'll be singing, gaily singing. We'll be singing and bringing them cheer. Don't start swinging till we drag the filthy creeps from here. Hear them shouting loudly, shouting. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought that was the chorus. Hear them shouting, loudly shouting. There's no doubting their shouting's not nice. Savior clouting till we've put the little crumbs on ice. Look at that. See the Tink reporters all waiting there, hoping that us cops will look bad. There's a guy from Life, there's a guy from Look, there's a guy from Time, even one from Mad. What rebelling, such rebelling, they're rebelling and yelling like hell. Play it cool till we get the rats in a cell. Listen, many people have told me that I should have been a singer. All right. And they say it just like that. I gotta go. I loved West Side Story. It's a fantastic musical. I watched it all the time as a kid. Yeah, my dad, I wanted to join a gang, but my dad was like, oh, you think gang life is all just running around, having fun with your buddies? So he had me watch West Side Story. And then I joined a gang. Communism Revisited, an up-to-date photographic MAD look at some of the so-called eternal truths proclaimed by the founding fathers of the Bolshevik Revolution. Who conceived by Max Brandel, photos by Wide World UPI. So these are stock photos. And then Max... This is interesting. It's like he conceived... I guess you can't write this, but... Bourgeois society's lacking in heroism. Karl Marx. Here we have the man on the moon. Capitalism is decaying. Joseph Stalin. Interview with H.G. Wells. Here we have a building being built. The working men have no country. We cannot take from them what they have not got. So this is just like, this is very interesting. Because here, hold on, the ruling ideas of each age have been the ideas of its ruling class. And then you have the people. This is just really taking a shot at communism in a way that I really enjoy. Yeah. And I mean, look at this, right? I mean, I don't know. This is what we need right now in our time, right? This idea about, I mean, I don't know. The hostility of one nation to another will come to an end. Soviet and Chinese clash on border. Now, I'm not sure if you're a history buff, but the Soviet Union and the Chinese are two communist nations. Well, at the time they were. Can a nation be free if it oppresses other nations? It cannot. Lenin said that. Well, that's lovely that Lenin... Soviet power is a new type of state in which there is no bureaucracy, no police, no standing army. It's amazing. And I mean, like, intensely political. Speaking of political, this isn't really political. This is just Hawks and Doves. This is by artist-writer Al Jaffe. And this is one of my favorite. I don't think this caught on really, but I think Major Hawks and Private Doves, I don't know, maybe it was too similar to like Beetle Bailey, but Private Doves is a little bit more of a peacenik, whereas Beetle Bailey is just a lazy ass, And so, yeah, he always does stuff like this, makes a peace sign. That pisses off Major Doves or Major Hawks. Here we have some violent TV commercials. Oh boy, I was wrong. This is Mort Drucker. This is before Mort Drucker really got his style that really stuck in. Let's see. Comment. Nag, nag, nag. That's all you ever do is nag. I'm sick and tired of your coming home from the office and nagging and yelling at me after I've slaved in the kitchen all day. I'm sick of it. Do you hear? Sick of it. Sick of it. Okay. So she stabs him to death. Oh my God, what have I done? Look at all that blood. What'll I do? Don't worry, Mrs. Brown. New super comet with chlorinol will clean up those messy bloodstains in a jiffy. Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. Oh, here we go. Benson and Hedges commercials. Fill her up. It's a guy. Wait, why is this guy in like an army uniform at a gas station? He's a service attendant? I grew up in a time, I'm not from New Jersey, and I grew up in a time where this was not a job people had. In Minnesota, I don't know that people ever had that job. Fills it up. Boom. Armed her. Isn't it amazing what some people will go through just to smoke a longer cigarette like Benson and Hedges 100s? Oh, I understand now. I've got it. That one took a minute because their cigarettes are causing explosions to happen. Oof. Okay. I'm sure at the time that probably would have made more sense. Oh, and of course, Paul Coker's beautiful, wonderful, horrifying cliches. Drawn by Paul Coker. Writer, Mai Sakami. I do not know that person. Weighing an alternative. Fishing for a compliment. This is my favorite thing to do personally, is fishing for a compliment. Grilling a suspect. You know what I love is in black and white cartoons is the way people, and I guess it's just like inkers in general, will use the white of the page to show the brightness. And you see that right here, right? The fire's going up. You don't really see the fire, but you see his bottom end. The suspect's back is just bright white from the fire. It's just it's these little tricks that artists use that I don't always appreciate, but that's a brilliant thing, right? I think somebody who's not an artist might draw that shape and then draw fire, and then even draw like all of the little flames, but really it conveys it so much more by just having all of that white space. That's what's cool about it. That's what makes Paul Coker a great artist. Well, I mean, among other things, obviously, right? MAD salutes the output of American industry. Conceived by Max Brandel. I'm going to have to look that. I'm going to write that down. He's gotten like a couple really good ones in here. Max Brandel. What is a parent? Tom Koch, artist, Sergio Aragones. I'm sorry, I just got sort of distracted looking at all of these lovely things. You know, the dad putting the model together for the kid. Mom yelling at you. You're trying to impress the babes. The mom yells at you. See, that's why I just never tried to impress people. Then I can never be humiliated. Telephone taps we'd like to hear. Mrs. Tiny Tim and her mother. Ari Onassis and Howard Hughes. Pete Rozelle and Joe Namath. Was that like the general manager or something? Oh, commissioner. Don Rickles and the wrong number. All right. I know Don Rickles. I know some of these other people too, but Don Rickles, right? Isn't he like they would call him like the Maharashi of Rude or something? Like they had like some weird, the Sultan of Slings and Arrows. I don't know they called him something. Hello, Marvin? Sorry, there's no Marvin here. You must have the wrong number. If it's the wrong number, how come you answered it, dum-dum? The phone rang. You're beautiful. The phone rang. What does it usually do? Genius? Whistle? But don't interrupt me. Yo, yo. I read it as if he's saying like, yo, yo. Don't interrupt me, yo, yo. It's my dime, and I've got some advice for you. Next time you dial, don't use the same finger you pick your nose with. It gets the phone all messy. But I didn't call you. You called me. Why should I call you? You ring-a-ding. I don't even know you. You're a wrong number if I ever heard one. Look, meathead, tell me your name so I'll remember never to call you again. This is J. Edgar Hoover. Who is this? This is a recording. Oh, my goodness. I feel like, I wasn't like I'm not a huge Don Rickles fan, but I feel like they captured his essence right there. Here we have the IRS and MAD publisher. Is this William N. Gaines? M. Gaines, publisher of MAD? That's me. Mr. Gaines, this is Mr. Stickler of the Internal Revenue Service, and I discuss certain errors and discrepancy in your 1970 income tax return. Like, you cannot list the artists, writers, and editors of MAD as your dependents. Why not? If I didn't support them, they'd go on welfare. I'm saving the government money. The government appreciates your motives, Mr. Gaines, but we can't allow it. Another thing, Charlie the Bookmaker is not a charitable institution. He's not, but I've been donating a fortune to him. And your Playboy subscription cannot be deducted as a business expense. But I read it in the office. Sorry. And under medical expenses, you show $15,758.21 spent in restaurants. I've receipts to prove it. I'm sure you do, but restaurant costs cannot be considered medical expenses. But what if I don't eat? I get sick. We sympathize with you, Mr. Gaines, but the government is very strict on all these points. Now, according to my calculation, you owe $28,879 in back taxes. So you'd better send it in immediately. And one last thing, please put a stamp on the envelope this time. What a cheapskate. The mad look at love. Look, he was still putting some effort in at this point. Look at that panel and over here, all that background stuff. Ooh, here we have a Spy versus Spy by Prohias. I'm never going to get it right. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. This is that spirit of Spy versus Spy, where it's like humiliation is seemingly just as good as defeating them. Here we have Mad's Dirty Old Man of the Year. I am a failure. George Woodbridge, artist, writer, Stan Hart. How many more segments are there? Okay. Mad's Dirty Old... Hello, I'm David Frostbite on special assignment from Mad Magazine. It's a wise old saying that goes, if you can't lick 'em, join 'em. Today, we are going to see how one father has applied this philosophy to the younger generation as we interview Mr. Howard Purile, Mad's Dirty Old Man of the Year. Mr. Purile, I understand that you've decided to bridge the generation gap by following the example of your 19-year-old son and your 18-year-old daughter. That's right, hey? You want to turn on? You mean... I mean my hi-fi set, my stereo hi-fi set, Smarty. So cool it. How do I know you ain't the fuzz? Besides, I got some music that will really blow your mind. You like Oliver? Three Dog Night, Gary Puckett? I don't understand this gag yet. And when you're not doing this, what do? Now, we go to Now Flicks. I love them. What do you like best about them? Standing in line next to all those young girls who don't wear any... I know. I understand now. I understand. So he's an old pervert. That's what he is. All right. I figured it out. Writers Dick DeBartolo and Donald K. Epstein. Answers to children's letters from God. This is Dick DeBartolo did one with Santa Claus. And they were delightful. So I expect the same from these. Whoop. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to do this. Dear Mary, my notes about your behavior are written in the big book in indelible ink, but thank you anyway for the nice eraser. Love, God. Dear Tracy, you may tell your mommy I said it is not a sin to leave the peas in your TV dinner. Love, God. I like God's signature. Look at how he wrote it to Lori, though. He really liked it. Dear Lori, yes, I am watching you all the time, but that is no excuse for not taking a bath. Love, God. Dear Jonathan. Oh, a Dear John letter. Thanks for your inquiry, but I really do not have a favorite. I like all the commandments. No, he does like the one. He likes that one more. Dear Linda, I'm glad you received a new camera for your birthday, but it would be against the rules to let you come up here and take pictures. You got to wait your turn. There we go. I'm figuring this new camera out a little bit. Little by little. Another beautiful Spy versus Spy. Look at that. Oh, look, he's leaping over everything. Can he leap over a fence, though? Unfortunately, yes, he can. My Three Sons. I think I'm going to pass on through this. And look at that. Here we go. For many years, militant revolutionaries have been trying to bring about political and social changes for our nation. Now, at last, it looks as if they have succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. To find out the dangerous new direction we are now headed, fold in the page as shown. Oh my goodness. I love it. Brings some levity. Sign language. Another Jaffe classic. I love the. I really enjoy how Al Jaffe's work looks painted, especially like these sort of like little chubby people that he draws, sort of like bulbous folks. I really enjoy it so much more when it's painted. Yeah. Anyway, this has been Mad Magazine number 142, released April 1971. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, do that other stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.